Interviewing for a new job can be so frustrating, but one of the things that makes it incredibly frustrating is companies do stupid things to get in their own way when it comes to the interview process. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 stupid things companies do that make interviewing and hiring so much harder. Let's go. Now, I've been in recruitment for 15 years, and I've seen a lot of dumb things that companies do. They don't always do it on purpose, but the reality is they don't spend a lot of time hiring, and companies make mistakes. And one of the biggest mistakes they make is they have a candidate who they think is great. This is a candidate they all agree, we could hire this candidate. But they want to wait because there's another candidate they like, not as much, but they want to see them through the process. The problem is that candidate they love is at the end of the process. The other candidate who they think could be good, potentially, is at the beginning of the process. And I have literally seen companies spend 3 weeks interviewing a candidate who they do not like as much, getting them to the end just to reach the same conclusion. Yeah, we really like that other one. We want to hire them. Problem is, that candidate's a great candidate. And great candidates always have opportunities. So they're gone. So they spend all this time interviewing a person they recognize as probably not as good as a person right in front of them, just to lose that really good candidate. Another thing I've witnessed time and time again is company lowballing their number one candidate when it comes to the offer. Now, they do this for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's budgetary. Sometimes they think they have other things to offer. But I have literally heard people say, well, the candidate wants $100,000, but we've got a really great culture. We do pizza parties on Friday. Do you think they'd accept 90? No. If they say they need $100K in order to make a move, and then you offer them something lower than that, i.e. lowballing them, that is the type of thing where you might spend that amount of money just finding a new person, the cost of having the role empty. All those type of things can actually be incredibly costly just to save a little bit of money on the offer, which won't get accepted. Truly great candidates who have options, maybe they're already employed, they're not going to move if you do not meet the number they said they need in order to make a move. Now, one of the things that all recruiters want to do is they want to get 3 to 4 candidates for their hiring manager interview. That's perfect, right? That's the best case scenario. Here are 3 to 4 qualified people. Pick the one you feel would be best for your team. But it does not always happen like that because this is the real world and it's not some magical fairy tale. But what happens sometimes is you've got a great, qualified, interested, affordable candidate who would be a great fit for the team, and you put them in front of the hiring manager and they go, Ben, love this candidate. They are great, but I'd like to see 2 or 3 others. And you go, okay, well, hold on a second. Is this someone who you feel could do the job, would fit well in your team? Is there something I'm missing? Do you not like them? They go, oh no, they would be great. I could definitely hire them. And I have absolutely no concerns, but I'd love to see what else is out there. Sometimes what else is out there is nothing else is out there. We don't have another candidate. There are not more people interested in your role. There are other candidates who are not going to be as interested, as qualified, as affordable. This is a mistake that hiring managers make all the time. They can't make a decision on one single candidate because they just want to make sure there's nothing else out there. But that type of thing can ruin a lot of searches. One of the most common ways that hiring managers absolutely shoot themselves in the foot in the interview process is they have way too many steps, way too many interviews. I have been in recruitment for 15 years, and someone's got to help me understand. What is it you find out about a candidate in interview 7 that you don't already know by interview 3? If you have an interview process and you have more than 3 steps, you are greatly increasing the risk of losing that candidate. Because when a candidate starts interviewing at one company, most of the time they start interviewing at a second or third because they've made the decision to make a move or they're looking for a job. And they, like you, want options and they want to be able to select the best option. So if you're interviewing a candidate and you have 7 different interviews, but your competition for this candidate has 3 interviews, I mean, you're not going to get the candidate. They're going to choose the place that sends them an offer weeks and weeks earlier than you would. It's one of the ways I have seen companies make mistake after mistake after mistake. And they'll tell you, they justify it by saying, look, we want to make sure we are choosing the right candidate. But what you're really doing is making sure you can't select the candidate you like because they get offered from somebody else way sooner. Another huge mistake is following the old school mindset that you don't need to sell the candidate on your opportunity. They should have to sell you on why they're a great fit. The reality is most candidates are going to have options. Most candidates are going to be able to interview elsewhere. And if a candidate is interviewing with 2 companies and they're relatively similar jobs, relatively similar pay, you look at them and generally speaking, you're like, these are relatively equal options. And one company doesn't sell their opportunity at all. They don't tell the candidate why it's a good idea to come work there. And one actually pitches a value proposition to them, how they'll grow, what they'll learn, what they'll get to do on a day-to-day basis, why this is a good place to work. Who are they going to choose? They're going to choose the company that actually sold themselves to the candidate. Maybe 20 years ago, you didn't need to do this. Maybe people showed up and you said, tell me why I should hire you. And you picked the best one. But today, candidates, if they don't feel your job is a great job for them, they will keep on looking. They will go elsewhere. So it is a massive mistake to not pitch the candidate on why they should join your organization. One of the other mistakes companies make, instead of pitching, they actually have a terrible interview. And I remember early in my career, I went on an interview and they did not just not sell me, but they actually actively sold me on why I didn't want to join their organization. And it was actually so effective, I made a video about it. This is the worst interview I have ever had. I'm done here. I'll see you over there.